Get up there then. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Table Talk. Caspian says hi. Yep, that's about the energy level we're working with today. He's had a long morning sitting. It's exhausting work. Before I worked a single step, wait a minute, back up, Chris. Give him a little pretext. Now, I want to talk about something today that honestly changed the whole trajectory of my recovery. And it started with 4 words somebody said to me early on. You get to choose. Before I ever worked a single step, I want you to know how closed off I actually was. I wouldn't even let an incense burner shaped like the Buddha into my house. Somebody offered my first wife a gift. No big theological statement behind it, just a nice little incense burner. And I was like, no, thank you. That's a false god. Get it away from us. That's how tight my grip was. And the wild part is, I didn't even know what I was rejecting. I didn't learn until much later that the Buddha was never meant to be worshipped as a deity in the first place. He was a teacher, a man who woke up. I was so busy guarding the door that I never even looked at what I was keeping out. So when I first got into the rooms, the word God landed like a brick. I had baggage, church baggage, guilt baggage, you're not doing it right baggage. I think a lot of us do. And for a long time, I thought recovery was going to be one more place where somebody handed me a version of God I was supposed to just accept and salute. And then somebody, an old timer, the kind of guy who says something devastating, then goes back to drinking his coffee like he didn't just rearrange your whole brain. He told me, nobody's handing you anything. You get to choose your own conception of this. It just needs to be bigger than you. Caspian, you look skeptical. Yeah, you're a cat. You are your own conception of God. I get it. Moving on. So that permission that I got to choose cracks something open. Instead of running from spiritual literature, I started running toward it. Not one book, not one tradition, all of it. I started reading Thich Nhat Hanh, Emmett Fox, Eckhart Tolle, the Old Testament, the New Testament, all versions. And my favorite part, by the way, of those books is the red words. Anyways, and one that really stuck with me, Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse. Now there's a book. Now here's the thing that's kind of wild about it though. Hesse takes the Buddha's actual birth name, Siddhartha Gautama, and gives it to a completely different fictional character. Then in the story, that fictional Siddhartha actually meets the real Buddha, listens to him, respects him completely, and then walks away. Because he decides he can't get to truth secondhand. The finger pointing at the moon is not the moon. Savi? Even from the Buddha himself, he has to live it, he has to experience it. Find it in the river, in the labor, in the falling apart and putting it back together. And when I read that, I thought, that's it. That's the whole spiritual journey right there. Nobody can hand you their God and expect it to fit. One size does not fit most. You got to wade into the river yourself, folks. I think people here choose your own conception of God and think it means make it easy, make it comfortable, make it whatever lets you off the hook. That's not it. Siddhartha didn't choose an easier path than the Buddhas. He chose a harder one because it was his. Mine wasn't easy either. Mine wasn't easier either. Say that 12 times fast. Mine just had to be honest, had to be something I actually believed instead of something I was performing. So today my higher power looks like a little Emmett Fox, a little Tolle's The Power of Now, a little of that quiet, unshockable presence that Caspian's got going on constantly. And a lot of what Jesus taught, the master teacher. Some days it looks like a cat who refuses to be rattled by anything. There's something to sit with in that, honestly. So just for today, I'm going to remember that I don't need someone else's finished version of God. I get to wade into my own river. I get to wade into my own river, Chris. Read the books, folks. Sit with the discomfort. Build something that's actually mine. Caspian, take us out. Yep, that's it. Says it all, really. Thanks for hanging out with us just for today. Go find your own river, folks.